Okay, so today, I have to face it. I have to make a template to cut these out. And you can buy pickup templates, but how do you clamp that is one thing. And after you clamp it, the router bit being in the middle of this base, totally, there's no way to clamp it. So what I did for the Telecaster style templates, this is the one I made up for that, for the lipstick pickups, and then that would be this guy here. I forgot why I did that, but I actually have plates in here that compensate for this outside diameter of this base, and it will make that cavity right there. But I'm going to go a step further, and I'm going to cut one in this plywood for the humbucker pickup. It'll be situated where I need it there, and I could leave room for jockeying it around. I was cutting the openings before gluing the neck on, and I had a guitar that the strings were slightly off the pole pieces. So now I etch everything in stone. This gets cemented in permanently. I do my layout, everything's in line. So now I want to make a template with this guy of this, and this is much larger. I could clamp it way back here. There's a nice big footprint that gets us up over top of the fingerboard for our router table. And how I'm going to do that is this little guy comes in a kit. These little brassy bronze guides, and all this does is fasten to the underside of the foot. I have another base that has a lip that this little lip countersinks down into, which I have to find. And this little bit is the same diameter of these. I do have to compensate now for that little lip there, but this will basically ride around and do all my cuts. This area in here has to be deeper for the tabs of the pickup mounting. I'd like to work with a manufacturer that has those plates reversed for mounting. I like mounting right to the body. Typically, traditionally, humbuckers would mount to a ring similar to this, just a piece of plastic, and it does fasten it to the body, but I like them bolted right to the body directly, and adjustable with springs still, but I just like it. It's a little cleaner. I still do use these from time to time, but this one I want nice and clean and just routed directly in. So we're going to set this up and center all this with our appropriate distance and make a template. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good. There is a weird anomaly at the bottom of this one and not so much at the top. I'll have to check that out for squareness and make a judgment on that. But this guy here, this just rides on the very top, only that much. go right on the top of this. Whoop, I'm bumping the camera. Making everyone seasick. And then the cutter bit comes down through the middle of that. So it does leave a little discrepancy. And on these pickups, this tended to be this guy, which is now like Swiss cheese. Drilling all the holes in it. Tends to leave it big on the top, this way, and huge for the tabs, but tight this way. Not so much tight now, but that having a tracer collet, in effect, shrink the copying this and made it smaller. So I had to move this, and I had it pre-marked. I was feeling my fingers double checking my marks, and I probably should have taken feeler gauge, but I did jog it this way and jog it that way. That's why I had to turn it and then flip it, because the screws, it was so close from that hole to that hole, that hole to that hole, that it was wanting to go back into the same hole. So I had to make new holes. So let's give this a try. And this should be even, yeah, that's even nicer than the template. We don't have these huge gaps up here. Now, when I go around this, it's going to shrink it again because of that, the thickness of that guide there going around. And the bit isn't as big around as that because it has to come down through the middle. So it's going to reduce the size again altogether. But it should be enough to where this is nice and snug and should look pretty nice. All right. Let's sprout our body out.